What's going on, guys? JV here, and man, am I happy to do today's video. The Cleveland Browns just defeated the Cincinnati Bengals by a score of 35-30. Kind of an offensive shootout, which was unexpected. I don't think many people expected it to be a 75-point total tonight. But that's what we got. The Browns came into tonight's game, I think, missing 5 starters on offense. Olivier Vernon, Greedy Williams, Del Pitt, a couple others, obviously missing tonight's game. But the story of the game today was the Cleveland Browns offense and the running game in particular, as the Cleveland Browns ran for over 200 yards in today's game. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt were on the same page. In particular, Nick Chubb, who had 22 carries for 125 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging about 5.6 a carry, and a Kareem Hunt, who kind of took over late in the fourth, fresh legs, and he just ran all over that Bengals defense, especially in the last couple drives. He finished tonight's game with 10 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown, averaging 8.6 yards a carry. You add on Baker Mayfield going 16 for 23 for 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. And I want to talk about the interception real quick. Those are the plays that are the reason why I'm so critical on Baker, are because of plays like that. Baker, all he needed to do there was put his team in position to get the 3 points, the field goal, to put him up 2 scores. And instead doesn't see the weak side safety leaking back, doesn't even have an eye on him, had an open guy over the middle of the field if it wasn't for the safety who was, not covering anybody and just making his way over the middle of the field. So Baker didn't see him at all, but it's those interceptions there why I'm so critical of him, because it's bonehead. It gave that Cincinnati team new life, when really if you kick a field goal there, you're kind of cruise sailing for the rest of the game, especially with that running game. So really, the only bad spot on offense today, I think, was that interception that Baker threw. As soon as he threw it, you knew he was pissed. You could see that he was pissed. He kind of punched the air, one-hitter quitter, to be honest. And, he talked about it in his postgame interview. That's the one he wanted back. Bonehead, and hopefully he can learn from those mistakes. But the offense looked good today. Odell Beckham with a touchdown as well. The play-action game was working. At one point in the game, I saw that Baker was like 4 for 5 with a touchdown and 95 yards out of the play-action. So when you have a running game like they do, in Cleveland right now, the play-action game should be able to open up and give you one-on-one targets for guys like Odell. We saw Austin Hooper a couple times today. Jarvis, of course. Cardale Hodge, whoever they're going to go to. But the success of that running game will, lead to positive plays like that. Let's move on to the defense. The defense was interesting today. I thought our front four played well. I thought we played pretty well in the run game. Joe Burrow threw the ball 61 times, so of course the passing stats, defensively are going to be a little inflated, especially in those last few drives where they were really just glad to give up the 5, 6, 7 yard dink and dumps and letting that clock tick out. So I think the defensive passing stats, or whatever you want to call it, I think those are going to be a tad inflated. But at the end of the day, I don't think the defense really played that great outside of Money Mitch. Denzel Ward, who I thought had a phenomenal game. He did let up a touchdown at one point, but all night he was just draped on A.J. Green. Almost made A.J. Green a non-factor. Sheldon Richardson, I want to give a shout out to Sheldon Richardson, who you see on the screen now. That man played his ass off tonight. He was in the backfield all night. At one point in Coach Stefanski's interview, he talked about how Sheldon was trying to get in on an offensive drive down on the goal line. I'm probably to play fullback, I'm assuming. But the bad spot on defense, definitely the linebacker spot. Thought the safeties weren't great tonight either. Sendejo with a big penalty at one point. But like I said in previous videos, I think the linebackers are going to be a sore spot all season long. So hopefully it's, hopefully somebody will rise to the occasion and be that guy. But at the end of the day, I think we're going to miss Schobert and some of those guys who we've had at the linebacker spot previous. Obviously, Max out as well. But I think we're going to be talking about how bad the linebackers are going to be all year long. But at the end of the day, guys, Cleveland Browns with the win. I want to talk about 3 things I loved and 3 things I hated in this ball game. And then we'll go ahead and end the video. The three things I loved. One, the Browns uniforms. I think the orange pants under the lights, one of the best uniforms in football. You know, you look good, you play good, they say, whatever it may be. But uniforms, love the uniforms. I loved the fact that Baker Mayfield looked like he was all about football all night long, into it, on the sideline. Big ups to him. A great job for him to come back in week 2 and light it up after taking all kinds of criticism throughout the week since the Baltimore game. So shout out to Baker for stepping up to the occasion. And the third thing I loved today was the fact that, you know, Coach Stefanski was handing the ball off. I think the Browns running backs ran for 35 different carries today. Big night, over 200 yards. So I love that Stefanski, even after the bad week 1, just continued to feed the horses. Nick Chubb, obviously, and Kareem Hunt with monster days. So those are my 3 things I love. The 3 things that disappointed me today: Browns special teams. I feel like they couldn't do anything right today, especially in the kick return game. The opponent's kick return game, I think they averaged 40 plus yards today on kick returns, and then the Browns had a penalty on a kick out of bounds as well. So that was ugly, but special teams in a whole was ugly. Thank God our kicker didn't miss any extra points. I guess I could have marked that as a positive, but I mean, that's just him doing his job. Second thing I didn't like today, I didn't like the penalties. Wyatt Teller, especially at the guard spot. We did have a couple penalties today that were bonehead. Another one where we had Cincinnati down at the 1 yard line and Larry Ogunjobi jumped off sides. I mean, that just cannot happen. You got a young quarterback, a rookie quarterback down on the goal line like that. You have to take advantage. At least I think so. So, so since that highlight video ended, I'm going to zoom in here. But, yeah, so the penalties, especially the one down on the 1 yard line, that was a bonehead mistake by Larry Ogunjobi. And the third thing that I really didn't like today, and I hate to knock Coach Stefanski on this one, but him going for it on 4th and 1 down on the goal line to put the Browns up 2 scores. They were up 8 at the time, but the field goal puts you up 11. That puts Cincinnati in a very difficult spot. I like the cojones that he showed there, and I like the guts that he showed there, but to me, as a Browns fan wanting a win so bad, I just felt like somehow, some way that not kicking that field goal was going to come back to haunt us. It didn't, but I just didn't like the call at the time. But if he scores there, nobody's complaining, obviously. It ended up working out. We got the fumble from the Myles Garrett's, sack fumble, picked it up. And I believe Nick Chubb went in to score, 2 plays later. So it ended up working out, whatever it may be, but I just didn't like the call. So I had to find 3 things to not like. That's what my third thing is going to be. But I think that's going to do it for today's video, man. Appreciate you guys for watching. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button, the subscribe button. If you guys want to see more of my content, I'll be pushing out more sports and, Cleveland content from here on out. Big game against Washington week 3. For a chance for the Browns to really just, for the first time in what seems like forever, to be ahead of the curve, playing above 500 football. Washington's a team that they can beat, so I hope they win that game. We'll have all kinds of Browns content leading up to that game as well. Extended week for the Browns, so that'll be nice. Maybe we can get some guys healthy. But yeah, I can rant on and on. I'm trying to keep the videos a little shorter, but appreciate you guys for watching. Don't be afraid to show some support. And as always, go Dogs.